Yeah, I'm going to talk about what what at least I experienced going through the Cloud Foundry Foundation's approver process, becoming an approver. A little about me. My name's Marc Paquette. I'm a relatively new software engineer for VMware Tanzu. I work on Garden, Diego, networking, routing, and more. Previously, I was a technical account manager, a designated support engineer. I was working on some of the largest Cloud Foundry instances in the world. And I've been working with Cloud Foundry since about 2016, CF release 249, anybody? All right, so the goal, to get merge access. We had a bit of a backlog in the open source world. We were around 700 open items. It wasn't a good look. It's not the kind of look you want to have for an open source community. And there's one thing with my support background. I love crushing backlogs. It's just something I'm real good at. And I realized if I got approver in all these areas, I could bring it down significantly. So the goal was to get approver in Garden, Diego, and networking. 3 groups all at the same time. Let's see, how did that go? All right, well, let's talk about the approver process. By the way, my wife thinks this one looks the most like me. Approvers are able to review and approve code and is scoped to working group areas, so Garden, Diego, and routing. The process, first, you need to be a contributor. You make PRs. Secondly, a reviewer. You review and comment on the PRs. Thirdly, you merge the PRs. So that's the process. And contributor and reviewer are pretty easy. Approver is a little more difficult. Also a little offended by the last guy. I don't know how he got here, a little insulted. All right, so approver. So these are the hoops you have to jump through. It's as I mentioned, some of the hardest ones to get. You need to be a reviewer on the code base for at least 3 months. Easy. Have completed at least 20 of the following. Submitted or reviewed a substantial PR or issue. Substantial is very weirdly worded. Involved in a technical discussion. Okay, you just need 20 of those. So the challenge is this contribution good enough? What does substantial mean? It's kind of like nobody knows what that means. Like one time I did this, one-line change, took me all week. Is that substantial? I don't know. Could I just bump Ginkgo every week and would that count? So ultimately, TOC members who are doing this process, they want to help. They're helpful and accommodating. They're not going to let easy things slide. You have to put in the work, but they want to see you succeed. Everybody's there. Everybody wants to see this community thrive. Behind the scenes work. I gravitate towards this kind of work. I love fixing broken pipelines. I love maintaining and creating Docker images, answering questions in Slack. I didn't realize until I made this slide that there are some of these that count and some of these that don't. So answering questions in Slack, that's part of a technical discussion. That one counted. And I didn't realize this until I actually wrote this slide. So don't be like me. Make sure you understand what counts. A lot of buckets to fill. So because I was going for 3 different areas all at the same time, my work was so spread out. So at some point, I had 19 in Garden, 17 in networking, and 16 in whatever the third one was. And I'm 2 years in. I'm like, why don't I have approver yet? What's going on? And so in a way, cross-functional work's put at a bit of disadvantage here, but you also want your approvers to have deep technical understanding as well. So it's kind of, it's a tricky area. So my advice, don't do what I did. Focus on one area at a time. Don't try to spread it out. Adding it all up, this was really challenging. Within the areas that I work, there's about 100 different repos, and aggregating that all up is extremely difficult. Until there's a tool that automatically does it for you. It's a recent tool, but it's there. So once again, don't be like me. make sure you read the docs and make sure you understand what tools are available to you to count your PRs, to count your issues. The Slack comments or the technical discussions, you probably have to go in a different route there, but there's tools that are available to help you out. Oops. The end result. So once I got full approver across 3 areas, you can see my GitHub timeline like lit up like a Christmas tree. Got us down from 700 open issues to about 30. So it's my big achievement there. I also help other people go through the mentor other people going through the CF process. There's, it's a relatively new process, and helping other people out is just something I love to do. And lastly, we get to give a talk. That's fun too. So summing it all up, takeaways. CFF wants to see you succeed. We're all a community. We want to help each other. We're all here together. So make sure you do that. Make sure you count everything. Don't be like me. Once again, count it all up, and you'll get that approver status or any of the ones that come prior. Focus on one area at a time. Don't try to get everything an approver in all the different areas. One thing at a time. And use the tools available to help you add it all up. Bonus takeaways. It takes a little time. I was getting so impatient. I was very frustrated, as Amelia knows. And just be patient. It took me about 2 years to get all this access. So, and then if I did this, I spent most of this talk saying, don't be like me, don't do this, don't do that. But you can. It's very accessible to most people. And if I did this, you can totally do this too. So don't be scared to chase after approver. And we'll all appreciate you having or being with us.